Hello students, how are you? Hope you all are healthy and safe at your home. I am Ch7 representing Ch7 Educational Group Kota. So students, I am here to teach you Science chapter number 7, Adaptations in Plants. So all of you open your books and be ready with sharp pencils as we are going to mark internal questions also. So it's on page number 56, open your books, page number 56. Adaptations in plants. Students, we know that plants are producers and they give out oxygen. All this you have studied well in your previous chapters also, and plants grow almost everywhere on the earth. Okay. So, there are different varieties of plants growing in different regions on the earth. Now, in this chapter we will study about what are the different types of plants that grow in different regions of the earth. Okay. So, students, the place where a plant grows or an animal lives naturally is called as its habitat. Let us have a look in book also. So, here the definition of habitat is given in your book. The place where a plant grows or an animal lives naturally is called its habitat. Now students, these plants and animals, they have developed some changes to survive well into their habitat. Now in this chapter we will discuss only about the changes of plants. Okay. So we will discuss only adaptations in plants. So students, the changes which help a plant to survive in its habitat are called adaptations. Now, is it clear to you all? These changes are called as adaptations, and these adaptations help the plant to live well into its environment or into its habitat where it is living from many years. Okay. So, this is about adaptations. Now, let us take one example. Children, you know that lotus plant grow in water while the rose plant, it grows on land. Now, if we try to grow rose plant in water and lotus plant on land, then what will happen? It will not grow. Why this is so? Because lotus is adapted to live in water only and rose is adapted to live in land only. They have developed some features which help them to survive, which help like lotus to survive in water and rose to survive in land. So, these changes or these features are called as adaptations. Okay. Now, let us discuss one activity which is given in your book on page number 56. See, write L for plants that grow on land and W for plants that grow in water. Now, you can see this is a sunflower. So, sunflower grows on land. So, we will write L over here. Then rose. Rose grows on land. So, again we will write L over here. Then this is a lotus flower and lotus grows in water. So, we will write W over here, and this is cactus. Cactus again grows on land. So, we will write L over here. Okay. So, complete this activity. Now, we move to our next topic. So, there are two different types of plants on the basis of habitat that we will discuss now. These are divided on the basis of habitat, means the place where they grow from years. Now, these are divided in two categories. These two categories are, first of all, terrestrial. Terrestrial are the plants that grow on land. Okay. And second category is aquatic. So, here aquatic are the plants that grow in water. Okay. Now, again these are also further divided because we know that there are different landforms on the earth. You have studied in your previous chapters also, in other subjects also, that there are so many landforms like plains are there, mountains are there, desert is there. So, depending on that habitat, plants also differ. So, we will discuss each of these now in this chapter, like plants on plains, mountains, desert, coastal areas, rainforest, and we will discuss plants growing over all these areas separately. Okay. Again, if we talk about aquatic, now in water also there are 3 different types of plants, like some are floating, some are fixed, while some are grown under water. Okay. So, these are the different types of plants. Now, we will discuss each of these one by one. So, students, there are 2 types of plants, terrestrial and aquatic. We have just talked about these. So, terrestrial plants, plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Now, terrestrial plants are found in plains, mountains, marshes and deserts that I have told you just now. So, let us start with plants in plains. So, students, in plains the climate is hot in summer and cold in winter. So, trees that grow in plains, they have lots of branches and lots of leaves. Okay. Now, what happen over here? They can bear the heat of summer. These leaves can bear the heat of summer, but during the autumn season they shed their leaves, and these leaves grow back during the spring season. And the plants which grow in plains are gulmohar, banyan, sal, neem, peepal and Ch7. There are so many other examples also. Now, there is one term, that is deciduous trees. So, these are the trees which shed their leaves in autumn season. We call them as deciduous trees. So, you learn this term. Now, we move to next, that is plants in deserts. So, students, now in deserts the climate is very hot and dry. So, the plants which are found in desert are cactus, date palm and babool. These trees grow in desert. These plants have adapted themselves to survive in hot and dry deserts, and some of these adaptations are, first of all, leaves in the cactus plants are reduced to spines to prevent the loss of water. Secondly, the thick green and fleshy stem of cactus makes food and stores water. So, now I will show you the cactus plant, what are the adaptations which can be seen in the cactus plant. So, have a look at this plant, children. Now, see, this is a cactus plant. Now, the green part which you can see, this is a swollen, spongy, fleshy, and this part is called is the stem of this plant. Okay. And generally in other plants you see that green colored leaves are there, but in case of cactus this green part is the stem. Okay. This is the swollen stem which stores water. Now, leaves of this plant are reduced in size and they forms spines. You can see so many spines on the stem of this cactus plants. So, these stems are basically the leaves of this plant. Okay. Now, why they are reduced in size? So as to minimize the loss of water, because if they are broad, then water will be more and more water will be evaporated from their surface. So, to reduce this, leaves have become shortened and they have reduced themselves to become spines. Now, the question arises, then how do they make their food then? So, this stem is a green stem, it contains chlorophyll, it stores water and it makes food for the plant. So, in cactus, stem makes food for the plant. So, you can see this is a cactus plant. Okay. So, now we come to the next type of plants. These are the plants on mountains. Now children, on mountains the climate is generally cold and there is a snowfall in some areas also. Now the trees growing on mountains are tall, straight and conical in shape. Now why they are conical in shape? Because this conical shape is one of the adaptation of the trees which grow on mountains, because whenever there is a snowfall, the snow slide off easily from this conical shaped trees, okay, and it not collect over the trees, okay. So these are conical in shape. Now they have needle like leaves. They have cones instead of flowers and cones have seeds inside them. So students, you have studied that there are flowers present on the plants and these flowers they grow into fruits and fruits contain seeds. But in case of plants which grow on the mountains, what happens? There are no flowers, no fruits. Instead of flowers and fruits, there are cones and these cones bears the seeds, okay. Now some of the plants that grow on mountains are fir, pine, cedar and spruce, and the leaves, these plants bears leaves throughout the year, so we call them evergreen. So students, here we have come to know about two different terms. First was the deciduous trees. These were the trees which shed their leaves in the autumn season, and the second term is the evergreen, which you can find over here. So these are the trees which bears leaves throughout the year. They are green throughout the year, okay. Now we come to the next topic, that is plants in marshy areas. Now in marshy areas, sticky and clay soil with plenty of water is found. Now children, marshes are the places where the soil is very thick, clumsy, it is very sticky, it is full of clay and water, okay. So here the trees which grow over here, their roots do not get enough air. So some of the roots they come out of the soil and they take the air from the surrounding air, and these type of roots are called as breathing roots, and the example of such plants is mangrove tree. Now let me show you what type of roots these see children, now this is a tree trunk, this is soil. So in this mangrove plants, what happens? The roots come out of the soil like this, okay, and these are called as breathing roots. So these roots take up the air from the surrounding atmosphere, and in this way they are able to perform their photosynthesis, okay. Now students, now there is an internal question. So pick up your pencil and mark the internal question over here on this page number 58. Question is, how do mangrove plants survive in marshes? So you write it down, write the question over the paragraph plants in marshy areas, because it is related to the same paragraph and answer is given in the same paragraph. You can underline the answer over here, that because they have breathing roots. So you underline the word breathing roots over here, you can see in your books. Write the question, how do mangrove plants survive in marshes, and answer is because they have breathing roots. So mark breathing roots over here, okay. So now we move to our next topic, that is plants in coastal areas. Now students, coastal areas. Now what are coastal areas? Coastal areas is the land along the sea, okay. Now you all know that sea water is salty water. So plants growing over there, they are adapted to live well in salty water, to grow well in salty water. So the plants which grow over here are the coconut trees, and they are tall and straight and can survive in salty water. Now we move to next, that is plants in rainforests. Now rainforests are hot and wet forests that receive heavy rainfall. Now students, you know that forest when we talk about forest, it means that there are so many trees. So, these rainforests are full of variety of plants. They have big trees, small trees, climbers, creepers, every type of plants are found over here in the rainforests. Okay. So, a wide variety of animals are also found there, and trees in rainforest are evergreen, means they bear leaves throughout the year because they are receiving plenty of rainfall, so they are evergreen. Okay. Now, so this was all about the adaptations in the plants that live on land, that is terrestrial adaptations. Now, we move to our next topic, that is aquatic plants. Okay. Okay, so now we come to aquatic plants. So, students, as we have discussed earlier, these are the plants that grow in water. They are called as aquatic plants. Now, aquatic plants are again of three types. They are floating, fixed and underwater. Now, we will discuss each of these. First of all, floating plants. Now, some aquatic plants float freely in water. Now, how they can float freely in water? Because these plants are either spongy or light in weight, so they can float freely on water. Some of the examples are duckweed and water hyacinth. Okay. Now, we move to fixed plant. Now, these plants are fixed to the bed of the pond with the help of their roots. Now, bed is the bottommost part of the water body. Any pond, any lake, the bottommost part is called as water bed. Okay. So, the roots of these plants are fixed to the water bed. Now, they have thin, long and hollow stems. Their leaves are broad which float on the surface of water. Now, stomata are present on the upper surface of leaves and a waxy coating is present on the surface of leaves which prevent them from rotting. Now, again an important thing is there, children, that till now you have studied that stomata are present on the underside of the leaf. Okay. But now, here in case of aquatic plants, stomata are present on the upper surface of the leaf. They are not on lower surface, they are on the upper surface because their lower surface is in contact with the water and they need air to breathe. So, stomata are present on upper surface, from there they can take air for breathing. Again, they have a waxy coating over the leaves so that they do not rot or decay. Okay. Now, we come to the last, that is underwater plants. Now, these plants grow under the surface of water, as the name underwater. So, they are below the surface of water. They have thin, narrow and long leaves without any stomata. Now, if there are no stomata, then how do they breathe? So, they breathe through the body surface. Their complete body surface helps in exchange of gases. They take the carbon dioxide from their complete body surface and give out oxygen through the same complete body surface. Now, you see, they absorb carbon dioxide given by aquatic animals and keep the pond clean, and they give out oxygen which is taken in by water animals, and some of the examples are tape grass and pond weed. Okay, because in water you know that so many animals also live, like fishes, crabs, frogs, they all live in water. So, when they breathe out, they give carbon dioxide which is dissolved in water. So, these plants take carbon dioxide from the water and they give out oxygen into the water only. Okay. So, now we come to the next topic, that is plants of the grass family. Now, children, plants of the grass family are very important to us because they are very useful in many ways. Some of the examples are cereal plants. They belong to grass family. They provide food for human beings and animals. Some examples are wheat, barley, rice, maize and fodder. Fodder here are the plants which are used for cattle food. Okay. And these all are obtained from plants of grass family. And another example is bamboo. Bamboo plant is a grass and it is used for making brooms, baskets, mats, huts and chairs. Now, again there is an internal question. So, hold your books, hold your pencils and mark the internal question, children. Page number 59. Write the question over here above this paragraph, plants of the grass family. This is question number 2. Bamboo plant belongs to which family? Write it down fast. Bamboo plant belongs to which family? And answer to this question is, it belongs to grass family. So, you mark the answer over here in the second point of this paragraph. Bamboo plant is a grass. Okay. Now, we move to the last topic of this chapter, that is some interesting plants. So, students, we have discussed a lot about different types of plants. Now, again there are some more interesting plants. There is a lot more to know about them. So, first of all we come to the category insectivorous plants. Now children, as the name insectivorous, insect means related to insects and vorous means to feed upon or to eat. So, these are the plants which eat insects, and because they are eating insects, so we call them carnivores. Okay. So, these are carnivorous. They grow in poor soil. Examples are Venus flytrap and pitcher plant and sundew plant. Now, let us discuss some of these examples. First of all, Venus flytrap. So, students, what is there? Leaves of Venus flytrap plant are hinged to form a trap. They have sensitive hairs on them. When any insect touches the sensitive hair, leaves snap shut, keeping the insect inside. The trapped insect is slowly digested and absorbed by the leaf. This you can see in the diagram over here. These two flaps are the leaves and they are hinged together and they have sensitive hairs. So, when any insect touches the sensitive hairs, these leaves they close like this, okay, and they trap the insect inside them, and this insect is then digested slowly and slowly inside the plant itself. Another example is pitcher plant. Leaves roll to form pitcher. It has a lid to cover the mouth of the pitcher. When any insect lands to drink nectar, it slips and falls into the pitcher. Inside the pitcher, it is droned and its nutrients are absorbed by the plant. Now, you can see the diagram over here. In this picture, you can see this pitcher basically is a large jug. Okay. So, here the leaves are rolled to form a jug like structure which we call as pitcher, and lid is also there. So, whenever this is somewhat sticky. So, whenever an insect comes and sit over here, this insect it gets slipped down into the pitcher and trapped, then the lid closes and the insect is trapped inside it, and then it is finally absorbed and digested into the pitcher. Okay. So, these are the insectivorous plants. Now, we come to non-green plants. Now, again there is one more category, that is non-green plants. Non-green plants lack chlorophyll and hence cannot make their own food. They get their food from dead plants and animals. Thus, they are called saprophytic plants, and examples are mushroom, which is a fungi, molds and Indian pipe. You can see the pictures over here. So, students, in these non-green plants, now non-green means they do not have chlorophyll. Now, if they do not have chlorophyll, then how they prepare their food or how they get their food? You all have studied earlier that chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis. So, these plants they are saprophytic. Saprophytic means they feed on dead and decaying plants and animals and get the nutrients from the dead and decaying matter. Okay. So, they are called as saprophytes, and the examples you can see in the picture also mushroom, and this is another plant which is called as Indian pipe plant. Okay. So, these are some of the examples. Now, again there is an internal question. So, let us mark it. Again hold your pencil, page number 60. Question is, question number 3, why non-green plants cannot make their own food? So, you write it down, why non-green plants cannot make their own food. Okay. So, answer is because non-green plants lack chlorophyll. So, underline the answer in the paragraph. The first line, non-green plants lack chlorophyll. Okay. So, mark the answer, children. So, this was all about the explanation of this chapter. I hope you all have understood the chapter well. Thank you. Have a nice day.